Next up, we have ShuckerVC. We're going to have JP and Graham talk with a couple of their portfolio companies so we can learn more about them.
We're gonna split up.
We're gonna split up. I see you in a for a week.
I've never been this far away from my partner. It's just kind of scary.
Well, welcome everyone. We are super glad to be here. We can just go on the first slides. Do you want to then? We have with us actually two very good friends and also one former portfolio company from a time at CVC and then our newest portfolio company, Natalia Felbereist. So we're going to talk a little bit about the founder journey. Well, how do you start? How do you find VCs? What is the actual aim that you're doing going forward? And we're going to hear from two extremely, I would say, current solutions. In Carolyn in automotive service with electric vehicles, and Natalia in sensors and AI. So we're really excited to kick this off today. And why don't you go ahead?
Well, first of all, thank you all so much for your time, and it's a pleasure to share Shucker's story with you and share the story of the awesome founders that are sitting next to us. So Shucker is a early stage venture capital fund that is investing in seed stage B2B software companies in the U.S. And JP's experience is in corporate venture. My experience is as a four-time software company founder, and Shucker really is an amalgam of those backgrounds. So we look for the best founders to partner with, and we invest alongside the best co-investors in those companies. And we're fortunate enough to get to do that because we offer a fairly unique perspective and service to our portfolio companies and our co-founders, which is that we support our portfolio company founders with a complete suite of back office services, including a full-time interim COO that steps into their company and takes away a lot of the hats that founders normally have to wear early on in their journey, which are incredibly distracting from what they're trying to build, which is usually not, a back office is not the focus for the founders, hopefully.
Perfect. I might just jump onto a few slides ahead. As Graham said, we are $10 million funds investing into 20 pre-seed startups. We love teaming up with brilliant people, and we have two brilliant people on the stage today. And with no further ado, let's go into a little bit of a Q&A. And what is really important to us is hearing their stories, how they became who they are today, from a founder perspective. And Carol, why don't you tell us about your founder journey? As you started Shopware and now you're at Earthlink. Tell us more about it.
Thanks, JP. Pleasure to be with you all. My name's Carolyn. I originally moved out to California because I was interested in hybrid cars. I was fixing cars in Ann Arbor, Michigan, so I went to school. I like to say I'm a bit of a chameleon. You spend time in Southeast Michigan, you get the automotive business. You spend time in the Bay Area, so you're in the software business. And my journey is kind of an amalgam of both of those things. But originally moved out to California because this is where there was a concentration of hybrid vehicles. This was in the mid-2000s. And I ended up opening my own repair shop specializing in hybrid vehicles in 2007. And the idea there is like, the iPhone had just dropped. It's hard to remember when Prius were cool, but Prius were very cool back then. They were doing a lot of plug-in conversions. And so we really ran at that as an opportunity to not only address a new market, but really kind of redefine the way that automotive was being presented to the marketplace based on the way we saw cars changing. So we were kind of trying to embody the change that the hybrid represented also in the repair shop. And along that way, we decided Well, shops are basically running on technology from the 1980s, and we should probably do something paperless and transparent and basically, be able to pull back the curtain because when you drive contemporary vehicles, it's very hard for you to appreciate the technology that's on board that car, which makes it inherently difficult for you to appreciate what's broken and that you're going to have to pay to fix it. So there's this inherent disconnect between the way you experience driving and taking responsibility for your car and ultimately paying for auto repair. So this idea that auto repair needs to do a better job communicating with you as the owner of this car really is in the auto repair's best interest. So I ended up developing a software platform. Originally, it's called HiSpace because it was supposed to be like MySpace for your hybrid, which tells you how long ago this was because it predates Facebook. And then later, when we had a lot of success in the repair shop, the decision was, do I open more repair shops or do I try to take this prototype product out to market and offer it to other repair shops? And that journey started in 2013. We rebranded, called that company Shopware. And I ran that company for the last 11 years and just had a successful exit to a private equity company that's a strategic roll-up in the automotive space. So that was sort of the very busy last 11 years. However, more recently, and I had kind of my repair shop on the side going, we realized that while Prius were sort of now, mainstream kind of boring cars, there was a new Prius. It's called a Tesla. And there's a lot of excitement, basically the same vanguard change and innovation that we're seeing now on that side with EVs. So there was an opportunity to sort of redux the repair shop. We decided we wanted to be, less green and more kind of tech oriented. And that business is called Earthling Automotive. We're located in San Francisco. We focus on both hybrids and EVs there, and very much have a connected, very efficient concept. Really trying to meet the needs of these new cars. So anyway, that's my background.
Awesome. And Natalia, why don't you? I think you also founded more than one company, from what I can recall. Why don't you tell us your story?
Yeah, thank you so much. Hi everyone, my name is Natalia. I'm CEO and co-founder of Authorized. We share the same story. It's my second startup. The previous company I led from the idea all the way to the scaling and acquisition. So the company has been acquired also probably 8 years after working on the business. And the Algorist has been originally the project and the spin-off from the university in Switzerland. We worked on the really cool idea at that stage. I still had another startup, and I loved the project because we had to solve the problem for rescue missions to equip them with the system to find people trapped on the buildings. And this was like, how are you going to do that? How can you see through the walls, can you find people? Are they alive? And the mission was really great. So we got the funds from the innovation funds to actually to do that. So we worked for like 2 years on this project, and we built a solution that could see people through the wall, and it could detect even not only detect people but also detect the vital signs like to feel your heartbeat and breathing even. So that was really cool. So we still were kind of like thinking, is that a really business and can it scale? We went to the market and we demoed our product at the Consumer Electronics Fair like a couple of years ago. And this was massive for us. So we had so much traction from all over the industry. So it kind of all the way from the ISP, like the internet service providers companies, to all the way to the automotive, to robotics companies. It's all about people localization. Just think about this venue, for example, and to know how many people here. I mean, what is your heartbeat? Like, what's going on here? What's the demographics? So many companies were asking this question. And so that was the reason for us actually to start the business. We started the company about less than a year ago. We are still a seed. We went to the market to raise capital in April this year, and we closed the first seed round. And we're super happy, super excited that you guys joined us. It's been fantastic. The round was led by the Amazon Industrial Innovation Fund, the $1 billion fund. the use cases we explore two specific ones. We are targeting the human-machine interactions in the industrial spaces. We call them the venues, so where we need to identify the people organization. And the second use case is actually automotive, in the very interesting correlations with what you were building. In the automotive, there is a major pain point that as of next year, all the vehicles should be equipped with the solution to identify the newborn children left in the vehicle. So this sort of a system needs to be built. And as our software progressed, we became agnostic to the hardware. So we basically, the company is called Algorized. We build software platform. We just don't look at the sensors in the same way. We just pick up the raw data, and then we translate this. We just sample this raw data, and we build very powerful algorithms, combination of standard kind of classical things combined with the machine learning techniques. That actually would give you the information that you need. So the company is scaling very, very fast. And actually thanks to you guys as well, because what we liked about Shucker, about you guys, is that it was very different from the venture funds we dated to get to the stage for the deep tech company to get funded. And here there's massive competition, and you know that is at that early stage to get funds. We had got we I think dated I pitched 300 investors. So it was just that was back-to-back meetings all the time. So we've had so much interest. The choice came to Shucker for us was very clear because we are very tech team. Okay, so we are engineers, we are PhDs, we are computer scientists. We basically know very well tech, but we basically anything with the administration hiring. You ask us to hire somebody, we're like, oh my god. Okay, so the processes, the papers, administration, paperwork, QuickBooks and whatever, anything like that, you just tell us it's going to be a disaster. So it's things that could be faster to solve for us from the AI basis, but anything administration was really had a load. And what we really liked about Shucker is that this hands-on approach, typically not really the same as saying the ventures would say, hey, we can help you to hire, but here it's really hands-on. So almost what you need to do to run faster, and I think that's really cool.
Thanks, Natalia. That's a good segue to my first question for both of you, which is, as founders and CEOs of early stage venture-backed companies, what makes you most effective in those roles? And what doesn't make you effective in those roles? When are you really flying as a founder CEO, and when are you dragging as a founder CEO?
I'm next to you, so I'll start. Okay, it's actually a journey of a founder or the co-founder. It's actually, especially the early stage tech startup, it's very different. So you go through different things. It's a constant focus and determination on something, especially when you start from the beginning. During this journey, it's really hard to be sidetracked, on many things. In our case, we have a lot of use cases to look at. It's the constant kind of determination and still focus on a certain goal and kind of achieving this goal, building this kind of, when you start building the company from the beginning, there's nothing. Okay, your mailbox is empty, there's nothing going on, and you kind of, it's idea and start developing. Once you start building traction, these things start going and turning. And as the seed stage, you run. Okay, so, and if you make a mistake, you have to mistake really fast and then run. Continue running, just continue doing and building, learn and explore different and constantly asking. So I think from the managing this company at the early stage, I think the most is basically self-trained on being most effective and focusing on the deliverables. It's too early at this stage to do some goal settings and kind of, because you don't have a big team yet. Recruitment of people is really important. Bring the right people that have got their same mindset. So the one thing is what you know. The other thing is being of the mindset of the deep tech, of seed, early stage startup. So it's kind of being ready for this. Less effective things. Look, anything that's related to run the company because you build it up. So anything with administration part, and it's like super, it's almost a trade-off. And I think that's why, again, coming back to this, you're always constantly trying to leverage between your resources and how much you can do it one day. So the part of the less effective things like administration tasks, building the company, getting ready for the Series A round, and I think that's where you be looking for additional resources to help you to build the company.
How about you, Caroline?
Thanks, Natalia, because now I got a chance to prep my answer. So I don't know how many founders are in this room, but the roller coaster of the highs and the lows is definitely a big part of that experience. But I would say that the high point is when you can really focus and validate your strategy, which again gets back to how do you prioritize your time, where do you make your greatest bets, those kinds of things, and the opportunity to make those kinds of decisions and create the future is pretty powerful. I would say the hardest part, or the part that drags, is when you're not only building your team, but you might have acknowledged that you have the wrong team, especially when there's not a lot of people in the room and having to make some really key changes and to find the right talent. This is an area where having really great advisors and board directors and so on can be extremely helpful. It can really make or break the success of the company because those early contributors are basically what make it happen.
So tying a little bit on this, thinking of your time, we met in 2017. I think it was either out here in Vegas, and we weren't gambling. It's one of the biggest automotive shows out there. So, and we were also gambling. And when you made the choice of finding your investors, tell the founders in here of what attributes did you actually look at, because you had a ton of interest for a really, really boring industry. So tell us a little bit, what was the dating process?
We did our Series C round, and we were involved with Robert Bosch for that, which is how I met JP, and was able to land a key strategic, obviously large parts manufacturer in the world. Of course, the concern there is you don't need one strategic investor, you need 5, because otherwise that strategic investor can get kind of overwhelming. But that was really, really foundational. And then we went through our Series A round and ended up, we were pitching throughout 2020, so all the pandemic activity going on. And we were able to land Insight Partners as a kind of top shelf VC to take us through that period. So, for us, we were just looking for folks that would be able to balance the industry expertise. Bosch was the industry expertise. What kind of SaaS growth expertise could we bring in? And that's what the Insight Partners were able to provide.
So for us, the choice of the right venture partner is really important in early stage. What we're looking for, first of all, the alignment on the goals and where are we, how we want to